Hey everybody, Orion Waheb here, and I'm really excited to dive into this topic today, this topic of how to create safety in relationships and how to create that safety both for you and for those you're relating with. It could be your intimate partner, it could be your friends, could be collaborators, could be bosses or team members, whatever that is. And there's a foundational level of safety that you can create in your body, in your experience of your day-to-day life that can really support thriving intimacy, thriving connection, thriving closeness, and thriving safety in your relationships. So we're going to go really deep into that topic today. First, I just want to remind you that we are doing a human design reading giveaway. If you're not familiar with the human design system, it's an amazing system I've been using for 8 years that tells you how you're uniquely designed to move through the world energetically. So you can align to how energy uniquely moves through your body and how you're designed to make decisions, how you're designed to know which relationships and collaborations and opportunities and jobs are correct for you, how to listen to the wisdom of your body, not the whims of the mind that are often getting filtered through worries and fears and past pains and situations that you've been through. So we're giving this reading away. It's a 2-hour reading. It's usually $397. And we're giving it away for free at the 50 subscriber mark. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is subscribe to our channel, leave a comment on this video, hit that like button. And for each video you comment on, you're going to be entered into another chance to win when we hit that 50 subscriber mark. So I'll go into that again at the end of the video. Hope you decide to enter the giveaway. I'd love to get to meet you and do this one-on-one reading with you. So how to create safety in relationships. And it does start with you. And to ask yourself the question, do I feel safe here on earth? Do I feel safe in my body? Do I feel safe in general? And one of the ways you can tell that is by slowing down enough to actually feel what's happening in your body. So nervous system regulation is one of the most important things. There's a lot of mental things you could do to explore potential past childhood woundings or traumas or things you've been through that affect your ability to feel safe. And those are important too. And the most important thing you can do is begin to slow down and become aware of what's going on in your body. If you're like me, you probably have spent many years using activity and busyness and accomplishment and even relationships to actually avoid what's happening in the body, to avoid the uncomfortable sensations, to avoid the feelings that come along with perhaps fear of being alone or fear of abandonment or whatever those fears may be, fear of intimacy, that feel really uncomfortable in the body. They, for me, fear of being alone, fear of abandonment kind of feels like a black hole in my chest. It's a really uncomfortable sensation or like a discomfort in my gut. But with time, I've been able to really be with those sensations and navigate them and understand that I can create my own feeling of safety in my body. So that's the first question. Do I feel safe in my body without a relationship? Because it's quite often and quite common to use relationships in order to feel safe, to get that validation, to know that someone loves you, to know that you are accepted. When in reality, it's about building the capacity to feel accepted and feel safe on your own. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do it alone. That doesn't mean you have to do it outside of relationships. It's about bringing this awareness about where you don't feel safe on your own, because where that happens is where you might have trouble creating safety for others in your relationships. And so let's dive into that. We're going to talk about a really important topic. We're going to talk about the difference between intention and impact. This is really important. And it's a lesson I've had to learn really hard throughout my relationships. I used to confuse the two a lot. And this is where a partner, a friend, a collaborator, a team member is getting triggered by your behavior. And what they're having is a trigger of fear, a trigger of anxiety or panic. Something's happening in their nervous system where their nervous system isn't regulated. And they might be looking to you to fix that, to solve that. They might be blaming you for that deregulation. Now, it's once two people are deregulated in their nervous system and both are triggered and both nervous systems are activated, both are in the sympathetic nervous system, which is sympathetic to the feelings of others, versus in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is more relaxed. So once both people in a relationship or a situation are activated into the sympathetic nervous system, then it can be basically two inner childs fighting each other. not really listening, not really being compassionate, feeling blamed and blaming. And that can trigger defensiveness, that can trigger anger, that can trigger a harshness. Now, you're not responsible for the other people's feelings, but you are responsible for yours. So how you can create safety is by being able to practice again on your own when you're in those heightened states, not frantically rushing around or trying to distract yourself too much with work, with relationships, with numbing agents like alcohol or marijuana or things like that. Not too much. Sometimes distracting yourself with work is enough to shift the focus and to regulate the nervous system. And it's not always a bad thing, but a lot of the times we use it to completely distract ourselves from what we really need to feel, what we really need to build our capacity for. So building that capacity on your own will allow you, when you're triggered with your partner, to build your capacity to calm your nervous system when they're upset, when they're maybe projecting onto you or blaming you or making you the reason why they're having a challenge. Instead of getting defensive, instead of getting angry, instead of how dare you, like how can you, really setting really strong, harsh boundaries, you can find a softness in that situation. Now, this is where we again come to the difference between intention and impact. And intention, we often have really, really good intentions, as do our partners, when they say things, do things, mean things, and then that intention doesn't always land as we want it to land. So we can have a really potent impact on our partner, and they can have a potent impact. And often there can be a defensiveness. When someone is feeling a certain way, feeling sad or angry or triggered by something you said or did, there can immediately be a defensiveness of, well, I didn't mean that. This is what I meant. And that's being clear about what you meant is important, but maybe not while they're triggered, not while they're in the impact. So while they're in the impact, it's, can you slow down? Can you hear them? Can you listen? Can you regulate your nervous system enough to take a deep breath? And breath is one of the best ways to regulate the nervous system. Deep belly breaths, deep breaths into the lower belly. Filling up, expanding like a balloon in all directions, front, back, and side, 3 to 5 of these, leaving the room if you have to, which is one of the hardest things to do, is to separate, especially if you have a fear of abandonment or really like want to fix the situation or an anxious attachment style. But really practicing that and realizing you are safe, the other person isn't going to leave you, it's just a misunderstanding or an altercation. And to get to a place where you can hear the impact your words and actions had on them without getting defensive, without getting angry, without making them wrong, or without, feeling like you did something wrong. There's no right or wrong here. You had an intention, it impacted them in a certain way. So being able to separate those two allows you to hear what's actually happening for them and to be compassionate. When you're in that heightened nervous system state, it's really hard to do that because there's that survival mechanism that wants to make sure this other person understands what you meant and what your intention was, because there might be a fear of them leaving you if they don't, or there might be a fear of them encroaching too much in your space if they're making you wrong for a boundary you set or some desire you have in the relationship for space or intimacy or whatever it is. So first is, can you acknowledge the impact? That's step one. After everyone feels heard and relaxed, step two is to share the intention. So, and to get clear on what works for both people. Being able to have that kind of dialogue where both people can feel safe. So this goes for the other person too, to have them be able to separate intention from impact and hear you when you're impacted. And, then you can both get to a place of hearing each other, being compassionate with each other, understanding that it might be really unreasonable what they're saying, or it might be really unreasonable what you're saying. But to be with that trigger, that unreasonable, that part, the inner child that is scared, that is reacting from a place of childhood wounding or trauma, that isn't reacting from a logical place, to be there to hold that person, to love that person, to have a relationship where it's safe for both of you to do that. And then when both nervous systems are relaxed, to then have a conversation about getting clear on both people's needs and desires, and to see what works for both people, and if there's a way it can work for both people, and continuing to tweak it over time. So that's how you can create safety in your relationship. Number one, again, is first start with yourself, practicing on your own when you're feeling anxious and nervous, to not use other people to validate you right away, to start to use breath again into the lower stomach, the lower dantian area. Deep breaths, going out for a walk, moving the energy, like being there for yourself in a way you're not used to being there for yourself, so that you don't have that habitual pattern of needing the other to be a certain way for you to feel safe, so that you can then separate intention from impact and in the relationship and create a really safe space for yourself to be heard, for them to be heard, and to regulate your nervous systems together, so that you can first just be with the illogical triggers and woundings and be compassionate and loving, which really creates that deep safety. First with yourself, and being compassionate and loving with yourself, and then with another, so that you can come to a really safe foundational place to talk about needs and desires, and what works for the other person, from a place of being heard and seen and loved for all of the messiness that you bring, that they bring. I know that this was a quick video, and I know there's lots of complexity here. So if you have any questions or thoughts about how to apply this, or any personal situations you're going through that you'd like to share, please put them in the comments. I'll answer every comment and support you in building more capacity for this safety in your own nervous system and with another. And I really encourage you to go to orionweb.com/HD guide and download your free 19-page Phoenix Method report, which includes your unique human design chart, as well as how to use the Phoenix Method to bring it into your life. Human design, again, as I mentioned before, is one of the best systems I've found to really tap into the wisdom of my body, and to start bringing my awareness out of the head and into my body, into my nervous system, and start to listen to that wisdom, and to bring the focus there, and to understand how uniquely my energy moves through the body. And to also, you can then understand, if your partner wants to, how their energy moves through their body. It's an amazing, amazing tool, and this report is designed to give you all the information you need to get started and start making shifts in your life today, to start making decisions that are more in alignment with how you're designed to move through the world, to remove resistance, remove friction, create more safety within you and with others. So in addition to that free guide that you can get at orionweb.com/HD guide, we are giving away that 2-hour human design reading, normally a $397 investment. It is one-on-one with me, and we're giving it away for free at the 50 subscriber mark. We're going to give it away to one lucky subscriber. So to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, like the video, leave a comment. We're going to be giving it away to someone who commented on a video at the 50 subscriber mark. And the more videos you comment on, the more chances you have to win the reading. So it would be such a pleasure to get to meet you, spend 2 hours with you, go into your chart, hear a little bit about your journey in life, and help you understand how to apply human design to your life immediately. So till then, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope this video helped, and I will be seeing you in the next one.